Tales from the Grey House, Episode 3, The Diary That Wouldn't End. Gray opened a drawer with a kind of slow reverence reserved for coffins or communion wafers. Inside, nestled in velvet gone brittle with age, sat 3 objects. A brass key with no teeth, darkened by heat and time. A shattered locket holding half a photograph, just a child's hand waving. A pocket diary bound in something tougher than leather, its clasp held shut by a rusted pin that looked reluctant to let go. The velvet seemed to breathe in the lamplight as they looked at the drawer contents. "I offer you 3 recollections," Gray said quietly. "Each came from a hand that trembled. You may choose one." Vinnie's jaw tightened. For a moment, sharp, hot, he felt the old instinct to lash out, to silence the man and his stories. Gray was creepy, cracked, maybe dangerous, but something in the way he spoke, it pulled. It reminded Vinnie of Halloween nights when his mother's old beau, reeking of whiskey and rage, would tell ghost stories by jack-o'-lantern light, back before his belt had left marks on everything but the walls. Vinnie exhaled. "All right, let's hear one." He didn't know why. Maybe he missed the part of himself that used to believe. He pointed to the diary. Gray smiled, not triumphant, merely expectant, and rested his hand on the diary. The rusted pin trembled as he unfastened it. "Isadora Naismith arrived as governess after the first Mrs. Hartley ran away with her lover. That was the husband's story. The children never believed it." He opened the diary. The pages seemed to breathe. "At first, Isadora wrote of lessons, chores, the children's moods. Then their dreams began." Ruby leaned in. "Arthur woke crying that someone was tapping on the windows from under the lake. Bryony whispered that Mama is cold and asked Isadora to brush the weeds from her hair. The children spoke of their mother as though she was still in the house, dripping, patient, watching." Gray turned a page. The ink shimmered like water. "Then the diary changed. Isadora would wake to find new entries written in her hand, describing the wife's last night. The argument, the shove, the splash, the hands holding her under, the silence." Vinnie's jaw tightened. "The husband insisted his wife had run away, but the diary disagreed, and the children's dreams agreed with the diary." Gray's voice thinned. "One night, Isadora followed wet footprints down the stairs. They led to the lake." Ruby swallowed. "The husband was waiting for her. He dragged her into the water, the same place he'd drowned his wife. He meant to finish her story the same way. But the lake stirred. A hand rose from the weeds, pale, swollen, unmistakably hers. His dead wife pulled him under." Isadora crawled back to shore. Vinnie exhaled. Ruby's voice was barely above a whisper. "And the diary?" Gray tapped the cover with one gloved finger. It wrote one last page, a single line. "I did not run," signed in the dead wife's hand. Vinnie frowned. "So what? Ghost diary?" Gray shook his head. "Not a ghost, a truth spoken at last." He closed the diary gently, as though afraid it might wake. "But once one voice found its way onto the page, others noticed." Ruby blinked. "Others?" Gray's smile was thin, almost apologetic. "The dead talk to each other, Miss Ruby. They share ideas, and this one was popular." He slid the diary back into the drawer. New hands began to write. Old grievances, lost names, secrets that never reached the living. The lantern flickered. Upstairs the storm wind rattled a window. Gray lowered his voice. "The wife only wanted the truth. The others want to be heard." Gray's words were nonsense, but woven so neatly they almost sounded like truth. Vinnie had known a con man like that once, a slick bastard who could sell tin as gold just by smiling at it. Same cadence, same confidence, same danger humming under the surface. Outside, the storm eased into a slow, steady rhythm. Upstairs, the rattling window fell silent. In its place, something began to hum, soft, off-key, like someone soothing a child who wasn't there.